US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has accused Belarus of attempting to weaponise migration and warned the country's leader to stop. Alexander Lukashenko has been criticised for engineering a migrant crisis at the border between Belarus and Poland in response to EU sanctions. Many migrants were pushed back by security forces and were left facing inhumane conditions. Now, Belarus says authorities have moved hundreds of people from a makeshift camp close to the border. And the first repatriation flights carrying migrants from Belarus has arrived in Iraq.
It's the last stop on a long journey for these passengers who had camped out at the EU-Belarus border for weeks. The Iraqi government chartered a repatriation flight from Minsk airport after appealing to its citizens to return home. But many want to stay. The West is pushing hard for a solution to the crisis. Now Alexander Lukashenko has proposed a response.
The mechanism proposed by President Lukashenko during the first conversation with German Chancellor Angela Merkel was the following. The European Union would create a humanitarian corridor for 2,000 migrants who are in the camp. We would commit ourselves to help another 5,000 migrants to return home.
Berlin rejected that. Belarus has already broken up the large migrant camps along the border with Poland. People have been moved to a large heated warehouse. Conditions here are extremely crowded, and many are worried what will happen to them next.
No one is taking responsibility for us. We all spent a lot of money and don't want to go back to Iraq. No one has come forward to take us to one of the European countries, or at least provide us with a better camp. Honestly, we are not protected here. This is not the life that we wanted.
Some migrants continue to camp at the border, still hoping that somehow they'll make it across the border into a new future in the EU.
And for more, I'm joined by DW Brussels Bureau Chief Alexander von Namen. Alexander, are we seeing a winding down of things at the border? Are we seeing this standoff between Belarus and Poland coming to an end?
Well, I would say that what we are seeing right now, Rebecca, is some movement there since yesterday. Some camps, makeshift camps on the border have been cleared, and the first repatriation flight landed in Iraq carrying more than 400 people. But there are still so many people trapped there that need help as soon as possible. And Lukashenko doesn't really seem to be backing down. He has tried to frame his phone calls with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel as victory for his regime, and they were suggesting that there could be a deal, that would mean the European Union would take in refugees from Belarus, something that the German government denied, and the spokesperson for the European Commission told me that that is propaganda in full swing. So I don't think that this crisis is over yet.
Now, the French President Emmanuel Macron says he's going to push for migrant issues during France's EU presidency, which begins in January. Is this crisis at the border forcing the EU to find some common ground on how to deal with migration?
It should, experts told us, but migration is a very thorny issue within the European Union, and this crisis revealed it one more time. And member states have so far not been able to agree on a new common migration policy, even though the European Commission came forward with new proposals that are aiming and smoothing the process and helping those nations who bear the brunt with regard to migrants and refugees arriving at their borders. And autocrats such as Lukashenko, they know this is the EU's weakness and they try to exploit it. So experts told us that it's necessary for the European Union to change its migration policy, be less panic-stricken and more constructive. But this is still a very thorny issue, and I'm not very optimistic that member states will be able to agree on that soon.
All right, Alexander, thank you. Alexander von Namen, DW Brussels Bureau Chief in Brussels.